I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Frankfort Plant Board. It's Tuesday, September 16th, 2025 at 5 o'clock. We're in the community room of the FPB Administration Building. Madam Secretary, call the roll.
Member DeLong?
Here.
Member Cuban?
Here.
Member Mason?
Here.
Member Snyder?
Here.
Member Dutton Mitchell?
Here.
With that, first order of business is congratulations, Jason. We got to swear you in, buddy.
Okay. Last time it was a pandemic. So it was virtual, but this time, is there a sword or something?
Is there a sword?
involved? Okay.
You want to stand up? Sure. Raise your right hand. I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the Commonwealth, and be faithful and true to the Commonwealth of Kentucky so long as I continue to be a citizen thereof, and that I will faithfully execute to the best of my ability the office of member of the Electric and Water Plant Board of the City of Frankfort, Kentucky, according to law. And I do further solemnly swear that since the adoption of the present Constitution, I, being a citizen of this state, have not fought a duel with deadly weapons within this state nor out of it, nor have I sent or accepted a challenge to fight a duel with deadly weapons, nor have I acted as a second in carrying out a challenge, nor aided or assisted any person thus offending, so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, buddy.
Thanks, John.
You want to sign right there and then just give it to Kathy at the end?
I appreciate it.
You're official.
Thank you, everybody.
Congrats.
Can I borrow your pen?
That Constitution stuff's good. Okay. Next item of business is approval of minutes. Everybody should have them in front of them. Does anybody have any changes or corrections? If not, do we have a motion to accept?
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Minutes are accepted. Financials, Katrina? Just don't say we're broke.
All of a sudden, she shows up.
David's gone. We're busted. Tapped out.
Good evening, everyone. I'm just a brief update for the financial statements for the first 2 months into the new fiscal year, so I'm not as excited as I was about. They start on page 23 of your board package, statement of net position. And total assets on line 75 of $244 million. Most of that is property, plant, and equipment. Total liabilities on line 155 is $93 million. And then net position on line 175 is $150 million. Add the liabilities and net position, and you get total liabilities and net position, which equal your total assets. If you flip over to page 28, that's the statement of revenues, expenses, and changes in that position for the company-wide detail. And not really a lot to talk about here either. Revenues are slightly above where we thought we'd be for budget, but nothing crazy. Gross contribution is a little bit higher than normal. Some of that is timing, where we did some accruals at year end, and the actuals have not all come through yet. So they, it got reversed. Right. And then your G&A expenses on line 260 under budget as well. A lot of that is timing too, because a lot of times on the budget they sometimes it's spread evenly, sometimes it's heavier weighted in the front of the year, and the expenses don't come till later in the year. So nothing alarming there yet. So overall, we're in good shape. You've got the check registers for both of our accounts on page 51 to 96. Are there any questions on that part, on the financial statement?
Any questions for Katrina?
As far as the audit goes, it's going smoothly. I think they're pretty much just tying up some loose ends on the financial statement audit, and they're starting on the single source audit. So
okay.
Everything's going well there as far as I know. So. And
for everybody, the single source is the federal funds. Mm-hmm. Yep. You have to do that in accordance with federal guidelines if you get over a certain amount of federal funding. So that's a separate report. So.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we have a motion to accept the financials?
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Financials are accepted. Tell David you hit it out of the park. We're not broke. Public comment, any web comments, or anybody signed up to speak?
No, sir.
Okay. Information items, Mr. General Manager.
Yes, first is public information. Casey.
Every year we set aside some time to celebrate our loyal customers.
Mhm.
We're going to be doing that on October 17th for Customer Appreciation Day. It's going to be here on the side parking lot and in here. We invite everyone to come out and celebrate. We get started at about 11. It's for lunch. You can come get a lunch and check out all of our different departments. We'll have different tents for each department to talk about the services we provide, or if you have questions about what we do, we're here for you. So
Do I have light bulbs?
We'll have light bulbs. Yeah. So we invite everybody to come on out on Friday, October 17th. We are still in need of a community volunteer for the Cable Advisory Committee. So if you know of anyone interested, let us know, let Harvey know, or if you're watching and you're interested, just call us at 352-4372 and we'll get you the information that you need. The clubhouse has had 5 rentals this month and currently 13 booked through the end of the year. So it's staying pretty busy, and we're seeing an uptick in interest for the holidays. This month, Cable 10 has covered 2 games of the week, 2 fiscal court meetings, 2 city commission meetings, 1 Franklin Anderson Industrial Development Authority special meeting, 1 BZA meeting, 1 ARB meeting, 1 FPB meeting, 1 Frankfurt Heritage Lecture Series presentation, 2 episodes of Snack Chat, 12 episodes of Around 10, and this includes regularly produced video segments. And these are also like partnerships that we have throughout the community. We have Pet of the Week with Franklin County Humane Society and Lifehouse, Trash Talk with Franklin County Waste Management, Beyond the Bookshelves with Paul Sawyer Public Library, City Scoop with the city staff, Mayor's Moment with Mayor Wilkerson, Fiscal Court Update with Judge Mueller. We do a business spotlight, and also we started a new segment for Capital City Classic Cars. We also have other partnerships throughout the community that we're helping promote, do things with, and this month we had Dr. Acupo on. We talked about the inaugural Sam and Cleo Coleman KSU fundraiser. We also had a segment about the KSU Ag Roundup, the Healthy KSU 3K and Health Fair, Bourbon on the Banks, Aviation Day, Relay for Life, Gathering of Authors, Capital City Community Band, and Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month with Tee It Up with Coco Golf Scramble. So we appreciate all the partnerships we have throughout the communities. We're here to help promote the things that they're doing. So if you're watching and you have something going on, just give us a call, and we'd love to have you come talk on the show about things that are happening here in our community. The crew has also produced 10 commercials this month for local businesses and organizations. That's what I have.
I like it when y'all do the cut-in for the Lexington channels on the weather.
Uh-huh.
That's good.
They do it special just for us.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Is next is not.
Hey, good evening. For August, the Network Operations Center handled 585 trouble calls, 3,712 phone calls, and on the locate side of the house, we did 709 locates in August. We still have 1 vacancy in the knock and 1 vacancy on the locate side, but we've done interviews, and hopefully we're going to get a good candidate from each of those. So fingers crossed, we'll be back to full staffing very soon. Other than that, that's all I have from the knock, unless you have any questions I can answer for you.
Any questions for Darren?
Nothing. My favorite kind of questions.
That's right. Thank you, sir.
Customer service.
Kathy's a hard act to follow. She has a lot going on in her department. Customer service, the reports are on page 99 to 103. We did have an uptick in customer contacts this month, August from July. So we had 8,195 customer contacts in total, and in July we were at about 7,000. So we did see a few more customers last month than we did the previous month. We had several more customers use the kiosks. So last month we were just barely below 600, and we had 667. We have two new employees that have started this last month. One is actually an employee who was a tenured employee that was here with us for about 9 years before they left. And went to the state for a couple of years. So she's back. She has done some additional training and is working on her own. And then we had a new employee start yesterday. So we are finally fully staffed. You will see that our wait times did go up a little bit last month. We expected that because we had one that was out on family leave, and then we were short too. So we should see those numbers to start come back down, but business as usual in customer service, and we're pretty excited about finally being fully staffed. So fingers crossed we'll stay that way.
Any questions for April?
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Next. Telecom, please, go ahead.
Your board report starts on 104, 105. I don't know. With the customer numbers for the month, we're just a little bit over 45% of the customer now have next band. That number is still moving forward, so that's a good sign. The next two pages are the outages for the month. We had 3 outages. We had a truck tear us down on Compton and Raleigh Road area. Several hour outage down there. We had a blown fuse actually in the same area the next couple days later, and we did have a power supply that took some damage, just overheated down on Capitol Avenue, Tanglewood area. Trouble calls below average for the month, and typically the same ones. Customer education, which we see that number goes down, and we're putting in a lot new next band services, so we expect that number to keep decreasing. So on next band itself, we're down to our last 2 pond areas, which is Millville and Schweitzer. The Schweitzer area will be tied into the grant. So as we doing the grant, we'll build that area as well. They're down to splicing on there. Harvey Land, the construction's complete. Lucas Lane, construction's complete. Hickory Ridge, we got a couple small areas of underground. A couple months ago, we brought back a contract with Arts Electric to do underground. That's to tie those areas in, and those will be complete. We have 2 of the major areas, which is Peaks Mill. We're down to, I think, 3 easements we needed. I think Hans is working on those at this point. And then the western Franklin County side, we have 27 outstanding easements. So we keep driving the number down, but it is, that's a lot. We had 25 at this point that have said no. Engineering's doing a redesign, so we can start construction there as well. So be happy to answer any question.
Any questions for Adam? Thank you, sir.
Next, the electric department, Travis.
Good evening, everyone. Scott had a conflict come up at the last minute, so I'm going to cover the electric department report for him, which begins on page 109 of your board package. Our SAIDI number for August was 73.6, and our SAFE 0.722. Page 110, you'll find the top 10 outages for the month. Those top 2 are, I think, going to be the same ones Adam was referring to. We had a vehicle come into contact with some of our facilities. And on page 11 is the pie chart of the outage causes. And 112 is the breakdown by count for those outage causes. Happy to answer any questions on that.
Any questions?
No, if not, I'll go right on to the AMI report. 21,709 electric installs. That's at 98.5%. 15,086 water. That's 90%. So we're getting closer every day on AMI. We'll be across the finish line here before too long. Of course, maybe you never hit 100% exactly because new customers move in, move out. But we're getting very close. So good news on that. The SEPA report is on page 113 of your package. Our SEPA bill was $83,175. That's our normal bill. Our net payment was $426,053 for profit to the board of $342,878, which brings us a current benefit of little over $1.1 million for calendar year 2025. Happy to answer any questions on those.
Any questions for Travis?
Thank you.
For
KYMEA?
For QMEA, I really don't have anything new update about it. We have a regular board meeting. There are many activity for the new power plant they are building. So, but do you have any question, I'm happy to answer.
All right.
Thank you. Next,
Thank you.
safety, yes.
Good evening. The safety report starts on page 117, 118. There was no OSHA recordables for the month of August. We did have one vehicle accident. It happened, one of our electric employees rear-ended another vehicle merging onto US 60.
Mhm. Was everybody okay?
Yeah, everybody
Yeah.
was fine.
We need not do that anymore.
Huh?
We need not do that anymore.
Yeah, we need to avoid that.
Yeah.
That's a bad little area over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Marshall from east-west connector on the 60, so
Yeah.
hopefully we address it and
Yeah.
won't happen again.
Yeah.
Any questions?
Okay, thank you, sir.
Water distribution.
Good evening, everybody. Starting on page 119 in your board packet, you'll see we installed 5 new water services. On page 120 covers we had 1 water main break, and on page 121 shows that 1 water main break did lead to a water outage. Crews are continuing to work on our large projects. We've had a rash of hoe ramming, beating rocks, so some of our pipe footage went down a little bit for this month with a lot of hoe ramming, which that's expected
Yeah.
with that type of work. Started back on paddocks phase 2, working good on it. Continue to make headway out on 421 while balancing all the other small items that come across every day. So kind of it sums it up for water distribution for now. And anybody got any questions?
Okay, thank you.
y'all.
Next, the water treatment plant.
Good evening, everyone. For the month of August, the water treatment plant treated 307,205,000 gallons of water for an average of 9.9 million gallons a day. Lock 4 averaged 1,117 cubic feet per second for an average of 721 million gallons a day. And there was half an inch of rain somewhere. I'm not sure where, but our filter valve project is 99% complete. We have 1 small change order to complete that you okayed last month. So in 2 or 3 weeks it should be done. So we're happy about that. So
I just wanted to compliment, I think I sent it to everybody on the board, earlier in the month, I spoke at the Georgetown Rotary,
okay.
along with Les Jarvis, who's the chairman of Georgetown Water and Sewer. And the question came up was, how do we know when we're drinking Frankfurt water as opposed to Georgetown water? And Les's answer was, you don't. And which I think is a testament that they've been drinking our water for over 30 years, and it's totally interchangeable. I mean,
Yeah.
Les says when we need it, we get it. When we don't need it, and he said we use their water, and the people there said they have no idea what they're drinking, and they're pleased with it. They were happy. And then the one gentleman, I think Gary, you helped too, was concerned if the Kentucky River had enough water in it for Georgetown. And Charmista put together a report and sent it to the Georgetown Rotary, so they have a copy. So
Yeah, I mean, we're pulling 1.5% of what's available in the pool every day out of there. So I mean, there's even with the conditions we have now, so we pull a very small percentage out of there.
but I thought it was a true compliment that the people there have no idea whether it's our water, their water, and they're pleased. I mean, they said it tastes good. I mean, they're happy. So
Well, let's hope so.
yeah, so let's hope so.
That's our goal. So
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, any other items there, Gary? Okay, the next item, item 6.1, we have an employee grievance matter. Ms. McDonald, do you want to come up? You and I talked just briefly before we started. I mean, you're welcome there. You could sit at that seat
Okay.
and whatever you want.
Okay.
Hans, you want to make sure her mic's on? Yeah, okay. And what I told Miss McDonald is she's free to say whatever she wants to say, whatever, and that, we may have some questions for her, and it's not an interrogation. If she feels comfortable, she can answer them. If not, that's her discretion, and she just needs to tell us what she wants to set out for. So, Miss McDonald, the floor is yours.
Good evening. thank you for giving me the
Sure.
time to share my side with you all.
Uh-huh.
I'm a little under the weather here
Uh-huh.
too, so I was told 3 years ago that I was going to get an increase by taking over the metering, reading meters, make sure they're verified, all the readings are correct, and I'm the only one in that department that does this. So I accepted all these duties in good faith and had consistent delivery, strong performance as reflected in my evaluation. So over the past 3 years, I've followed up in the matter. All the papers were signed. The staff agreed, but after 3 years, I still haven't heard anything. It's a big responsibility, to make sure all the readings are verified, the electric meters, and make sure everybody's bill is correct.
And that was, when you took on, that was the additional duties as a result of the meter readers, right?
Yes, when they got rid of them.
Yeah, we phased it out, and then you took it apart.
In 22, and I've been doing it ever since. It's just a lot of responsibility.
Yes. And I think, as the board's aware, Ms. McDonald, the recommendation was put in to reclassify her during that time. We made the switch over from our previous system to Corn Ferry, looked at the job classification, then you've gone through the various levels, and the last step you were at was at the general manager level.
Yes.
And the general manager reviewed it, and I think she and I talked just very briefly before we started. We're at the point was, everybody's seen her grievance in the material, and everybody's had a chance to look at that. We've really got 4 options, depending on how you look at it. We don't have to act tonight. If everybody doesn't feel comfortable, if anybody has more questions, wants more follow-up, you're free to follow up. We can affirm the general manager's decision, which is that Ms. McDonald's current classification is correct based on our classification plan, or we can reverse the general manager's decision and say we want to craft a different remedy for her, either in terms of a reclassification and or in terms of some type of salary adjustment. So that's the options in front of us. And with this, I'll throw it open for anybody to ask any questions. And like I said, Ms. McDonald, you're not being interrogated.
Sure.
Feel free to follow up, ask questions, clarify, whatever you feel comfortable with. So,
okay.
Catherine?
First of all, I want to thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And for going through this process. And I just want to let you know, I've really taken a lot of time analyzing it. So I kind of want to go through some questions, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Again, you don't have to answer them, but I just want to make sure my analysis is correct. So when you accepted the additional duties back in 22,
Yes.
You wanted to be moved from a 106 to a 108.
Correct.
Okay.
That's what they told me.
And
yes.
that's basically the essence of your grievance.
Yes.
And but in your grievance, you didn't have any written evidence of this promise, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then you inquired a year later, and the supervisor told you that it was being reviewed.
Yes.
Okay. Which is different than a promise.
Yeah.
And it really was being reviewed. And then also in your evidence, there was an HR email asking for a reclass form to be completed.
Yes.
And it did get signed by the supervisors, which you said. But you know that it also had to be signed by the GM and board approved.
Yes.
And it didn't.
Yes.
Okay. And you know that last year the board declined to approve it.
Yes.
Okay. And we were waiting for the Corn Ferry report. So that's why we declined reclass. And then Corn Ferry did they performed their review of our whole system and reclass, and then we adopted their system. And the administrative assistant 2 was put into the field salary scale instead of the basic core scale because of it was an acknowledgement of the additional duties. So that's what our consultant thought, it should get paid more. And then so in 22, and when you were a 106, we were told that there was about an additional 30% of duties added when you took those on. But those duties were phased out the more that we put in AMI. So those came down to maybe about a 5% increase in your duties. Now we don't have 106 or 108. We have a whole different numbering system. But you're essentially in a level 10. Is that correct? Is that where you are right now?
Yes.
Okay. And so from my analysis, that is the equivalent. The level 10 field, which is where you are and got moved to, is the same as you having been moved from a 106 to a 108. So is that correct?
I guess.
Okay. All right.
But I feel like all this started before Corn Ferry ever got involved, to me. I started in 22. In 23, I signed my promotion papers, and it's taken this long, and then Corn Ferry got into it.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Which is one reason why we hired them. We wanted to quit doing things piecemeal, you know. But yes, you're right.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it was unfortunate timing for you. However, I think as you acknowledge, you are up from where you would have been. You essentially did get reclassed. It's just we use a new numbering system.
New numbers. Yeah.
Steve?
So you said you signed the promotion papers in 22.
In 23, July of 23. I started doing that in 22, June of 22, when they got rid of the metering.
Just one.
Yeah.
Jason, you have any questions?
This is all kind of new to me, so I'm sort of following. Very nicely done there. It does sound like initially there was a lot more work involved, but then maybe as AMI has come fully on, it's dropped back down a bit?
Not really.
Okay.
Not really, not for me. No.
Okay. So you're still feeling like it's the same level of work that
Yes.
you were promised the promotion?
And it's just me that does it too. I mean, it's a daily thing. And then we have closeout twice a month, and not all that has to be. It's a lot to it.
Yeah, and sorry, are we allowed to talk about the difference in pay in public meeting? Don't have the number of what the difference would be.
In terms of?
The salary increase or change.
Well, I think and correct me if I'm wrong, Hans or if Michelle, at the time it began, you would have gone from a 106 to 108, which would have been a reclass or a promotion.
Yes.
And then when Corn Ferry went, and the reason we had Corn Ferry, and we've talked about this openly in board meetings, is they came up with a different system, that there was a classification series for administrative personnel and then one for what we called field personnel, which is like water, electric support personnel in those areas, because we're competing with the different companies in that area, so they redid that. So when they looked at everybody and did it, when they put you in that classification, you were beyond the entry point of that new grade, which is why it didn't result in a promotion or salary increase. Is that correct, Hans? That when she went into the new series that Corn Ferry recommended, that she was beyond the entry point in that. Is that correct? Is that, you want to speak to it?
Yes, Ms. McDonald was within the range for the field 10.
Right.
So she was over the minimum, but she was still between the minimum and the max.
And I want to make sure and I'm sure you're aware of it, you weren't the only person. When we looked at this, there were a number of positions that were looked at by Corn Ferry that were in the process. And eventually Corn Ferry recommended some of them be adjusted and some weren't, based on their analysis of each position. So I wanted to assure you weren't being singled out during this process. But I understand your frustration is the board had been talking about going to a different series. We took bids, we selected them. They're the same firm that does state government. And so we went with them, which we wanted them to look at that whole series because we just knew we needed to do something. We wanted a chance to look at something different in the reclassification, which is why that change was made. But at no time in this whole process, I wanted to assure you was like your position singled out. It wasn't like we just don't want to do Wanda McDonald's.
Yeah,
it was, we weren't looking at any names. We were just looking at the positions that were kind of in the process and the fact that we were bringing Corn Ferry on, and we wanted them to look at it.
And I would say one thing that just complicates things is Vince obviously retired now, so he's not here to sort of help bridge some of these conversations. Are we able to ask questions of other people, or do we have to stay?
I mean, it's whatever, you're free to, whatever you want to do.
But would we be able to get Gary's take on this?
Sure.
And then also Travis, I mean, she is in your department, right? And this is a specialized position tied to AMI, which obviously, I mean, are we allowed to open it up to get some additional information?
I mean, it's informal. I mean, we're just trying to get all the information out.
Okay.
To make the correct decision.
Okay. Travis, can we hear from you just a little bit on this, or your thoughts? Because you basically took over for, yeah. Yeah, and I guess I'm asking because she's under your department, but two, you
Correct.
kind of took over for Vince, so you would be sort of in some ways, yeah.
Yeah, I guess, a couple thoughts I had on it. I agree with Wanda's assessment that it was an increase in workload. I think that's hard to debate. It's definitely, when we retired the meter reading group, there was a lot of the back office functions that they performed to make sure that we went from collection to billing, everything kind of went smoothly. When they were retired, checking high-low reports, misreads, rereads, there's a lot of that process that is maybe not front and center that's now being done by the administrative assistant. So it's in my position, it's kind of, substantive. I think some of the confusion maybe initially had been, again, it wasn't my department at the time, but the way I understood it, I think there was some confusion communicating whether the increase was budgeted versus approved. So there was some confusion around that at the time that I think maybe had led to, things not happening smoothly at the time. But I've obviously worked with these people very closely over the years. I think, they've done a great job. Wanda did take on a lot of additional duties. Kind of when we went through the process, we were trying to rely on, same as the board, the Corn Ferry report, and we kind of fell back on that, and that's kind of how we wound up where we are here today. But, is there anything maybe more specific? That's kind of, my history of it.
Yeah, and I guess I'd like to just point out that, the shift to AMI has been revolutionary on so many fronts, not only to our customers but to us, but also we were able, how many positions did we basically repurpose or absorb because of AMI?
Yeah, it kind of shifted over the years, but there were, at one point I think there were 7 in the meter reading department, so we've gone from 7. Kind of during that process, we added 2 back in the system tech side that would have more of a technical role in troubleshooting and maintaining the AMI system versus just collecting the reads. But yeah, it went from 7 to, the 2 new official positions, and then again, the additional duties that the administrative assistants took on.
So it'd be fair to say that we basically took 5 extra set of eyes, and then she's now taking all the responsibility for that on her shoulders and all of that value she provides to the organization.
Right. Yeah, and in addition to continuing to doing her, her old job duties, which were substantial.
Wanda, are you the only one doing the additional work?
Just me.
Okay.
And I do service orders too, but lights, all kinds of stuff.
Right. I see your name all the time on the thing. If you got purple lights,
Purple lights, that's me.
You're the purple light person, yeah.
Yeah, that's me.
Okay. Well, that's very helpful.
Okay, sure.
Anybody else got any questions?
Do you have any questions for Gary? You said you wanted to.
Gary, you want to weigh in?
I don't have a lot. One part is the meter reading department actually go physically read a lot of a meter. Right now AMI, which is a 98-99%, is automatically rated. But we don't have a high-low to say 2 times a month before we send out a bill, we do need a verified check that. That's what the C talk about. Because that's, yes, that's important. We hold line, otherwise it could be wrong billing, then customer service have to take care of the call, redo the whole thing. But, part I do want to say is, this overall structure change is just like Ms. Cuban mentioned, that it's not a particularly any employee, it's just in the process, change the system. It's not just her. Actually, there's quite a few other employees, as you know, in the process too. So I just want to cautiously let the board know, it's your decision definitely, but I'm just saying if we do consider that, we need to consider all of them. That's just the.
Do you ever have to go out in the field, Ms. McDonald, or?
I don't. I
Okay.
could, but I don't.
No, I mean, I didn't know if you were, like when Travis was talking about we're 98% on electric and so forth. I didn't know if you ever had to go out on the meters that weren't AMI or not.
No, I
Okay.
don't.
Okay.
Question.
Sure.
Nichelle, when it comes down to it, I want to clarify one thing first off. Talk about this promotion paperwork that was signed. Preliminary, my understanding based on what you've said and what's been said here, and what Catherine was talking about was, the request was put in, but it was never officially approved and did not make it all the way through channels, correct?
Correct.
Okay. I'm trying to figure out a way to answer this question kind of, and then not too much information. What is the difference we're talking about with Ms. McDonald in terms of salary?
6,000, a little bit over 6,000.
On an annual basis?
Yes.
And Gary made mention that there may be some other folks that were in this position where things were being considered while the Corn Ferry thing. Do you have an idea about how many other employees we might have who might be in a similar situation?
So there's one other employee that is in the position of administrative assistant too, but I think Gary may have been speaking about just other people that were involved in AMI so we did not do a review for those.
I guess the question I have is, were there people that were, promotions or changes were being considered, and then all of a sudden with Corn Ferry, they kind of went away? That's really more the question I'm asking.
Yes, there was one other.
Okay.
It's a different position.
Okay, but in a different area. Okay.
Yes.
But also, I think others were put on hold, not just one.
Let me follow on a question you asked.
Sure.
You saying the process was followed and was not completed?
Yes.
The policy that was in place.
The request was put in but it didn't go all the way through.
When you say all the way through, what are you saying?
Has to be signed off by the general manager.
Was that the practice?
If it's in the budget, no. If it's in the budget, it doesn't have to be signed by the general manager.
Okay.
Because if it's budgeted in the past, this is what HR did. If it was budgeted and the budget was approved, that prompts HR to start the paperwork, because we're trying to get everything in for the first physical payroll.
And the $64,000 question is, was this budgeted?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then we adopted Corn Ferry at the July meeting, is that correct? Or decided to go with Corn Ferry in July of that year?
It was postponed in July, and we adopted Corn Ferry, or not adopted, we selected Corn Ferry to do a review in December.
Okay.
That was at the December board meeting. And then from December on is where we started the compensation study.
Okay.
What's the new practice we have this?
So now, even if it's budgeted, I try to make sure, and that's how you talk about the 4 page, I try to list that these are positions that are either going to be reclassed or some type of increase or for a review.
Well, and so it's been about a year and a half. Is that my poor math here? Is it 18 months? So it'd be fair to say that you've been operating your job with the idea that this kind of was out there and kind of was going to compensate you for the level of work that you were doing.
That's what I was
So
trying.
roughly $9,000. Yeah, I can understand why you'd feel aggrieved, because it's hard to do work thinking that you're getting paid something and then suddenly being told you're being paid. And we understood that this moving to this different model was a very big seismic shift. We did it to align ourselves with the state. And so you are saying there's really one other position that kind of got caught up in a similar way with this timing?
So to answer Ms. Denton Mitchell, there were several positions, but there were 3 that Korn Ferry determined their pay was within market, and they did not recommend an increase.
Okay.
So of those 3 positions, 2 of them are it's 2 individuals that are in the admin, the assistant admin 2, and that's Ms. McDonald and another employee.
Okay.
Then there's a
So-
3rd position that just doesn't have anything to do with this situation.
And with the Korn Ferry, when we were going through all that, as Catherine said, you know, we shifted, and some people shifted up. Everybody shifted up to some degree because of how we were doing everything. But there were these 3 positions that they just said, they're in the right place.
Right, correct.
Okay. Is it okay for me to make my opinion or thought on this from what I'm hearing?
Go ahead.
I mean, Korn Ferry did a very good job for us, but they are at the end of the day an outside consultant coming in, looking at the big picture, and they did not maybe understand when they were making these decisions about this, maybe promises or at least concepts or ideas that were being given to individual employees or expectations. So I think I would definitely weigh that in talking about this, is that I appreciate Korn Ferry's opinion on this, but maybe they didn't have all the information. Is that fair to say they didn't have all of this information on this specific position?
When we had our meeting and we discussed, the determination was based on there was no additional education or certification or things of that nature needed to complete the new duties. So because of that, and the current pay was within market. So, and then that's where the conversation between me and Korn Ferry came into play, to say, they say, okay, well, if you want to do anything, because they have these additional duties, like we have mentioned before, instead of placing them in the core, which starting minimum is lower than the field, they were like, we'll place these positions in the field salary. And by doing that, it was still within range.
So they did respond. So after, it wasn't just that they did the reclass, but then they were asked specifically to look at this problem, knowing that there was, I don't know that a grievance was filed, but knowing that there was a concern. They went and Nichelle asked them to specifically look at it again.
Yeah, so they specifically looked at all those positions. And so when he responded back in the email, he said, these, just not having additional information, he said, these yes, these no, please, is there any additional information, that is needed? And that's when I said, well, they receive additional duties because of the meter reading department, was eliminated. They took on these duties, and then that's when he asked, did they need to have any additional education to complete these duties? Did they need to have any additional certification to complete these duties? And I said no. And he said, well, if you want to give them additional credit for these duties, we can move them from the core to the field. And I said yes, but not even looking at where the ranges were at that time. So then when the ranges came, it was determined that the pay was still, each individual pay was still within the ranges, and so that's why it was no increase. So like you had mentioned, you received credit by being put in the field instead of the core, but it still didn't justify a salary increase.
Any other questions for Ms. McDonald, for Nichelle? Gary, Travis? Okay, at this point, is there anything else, Ms. McDonald, you want to say?
I think that's all.
Any other information or anything that you think would help us, or? Okay.
I don't think so.
But I do want to say thank you for all your work over the last 18 months. It's a very important job. Obviously, electric is one of our highest revenue sources, so making sure things are done properly. And I'm sorry you've gotten snarled up in these few different things happening all at once, and I'm sure it's been very stressful.
And we appreciate you coming today and talking with us.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Okay, so at this point, as I mentioned, we can, if you want to think about some more, some other questions, we can defer it. We can affirm Gary's decision. If we want to reverse Gary's decision, there's really two options. One, we really don't have a precedent or a mechanism, but we could award additional compensation in range. Or we could direct HR to reclassify, but I don't know where we go with that, because in theory Ms. McDonald's in the right classification. So, but that's kind of our options in front of us. I think in enhance, I think that's pretty much our remedies that are in front of us.
Yes, sir. The board, the statute, of course, you know, the board sets the duties and compensation of all employees, so whatever remedy the board feels is appropriate.
Okay. Nichelle, is there anything else you want to add or offer? Okay.
I do want to make one clarification, I thought, to their findings on this. I mean, sure, she didn't have to have additional education or certification, but she was being asked to take on responsibilities that were kind of being made up on the fly. We had never adopted AMI. We had never transitioned.
Right.
I'm sure it was a high learning curve.
Yeah.
And though she didn't receive a specific certification, I almost think learning on the job, she had to learn a whole nother skill set to take over for these other, that was kind of being made up as it went, and I'm sure there was some herky-jerky to it. So,
and what's the tough part in all these, any type of personnel, and correct me if I'm wrong, Nichelle, it's always tough to determine based on my experience, which is primarily in state government, is most job classifications or job descriptions say, and other duties as may be assigned. So the question is, what's that trigger? When is additional duties trigger that you're in the wrong class? You know, I mean, it's, and I don't think there's a real, it's not like it's sometimes a bright red line. I mean, it's like, when is it, if you're asked to do this, does that say that's enough additional duties or enough additional responsibility that we need to do something? And of course, what we had here was, under our old system, you know, supervisor said, you know, these are additional duties. Then when Korn Ferry comes in, they look at it and say, yes, it is additional, but it's not enough by moving you from the core to the field thing. It's not now enough to change. Well, it did change where she was at, but because she was far enough along in the grade, it didn't trigger the salary. If she'd been below the minimum in the new series, that would have triggered it, right?
Yes.
But because she was past that, because she's a tenured employee and has been with us and done a great job, she was past that entry point, so therefore it didn't trigger the salary. So that's, it kind of caught her there, going that way also.
well, in my mind, it's a perfect storm of three confluences. One, Ben retiring. Two, AMI coming on and us dramatically changing how we do reading and meters and data. And then three, the Korn Ferry report.
Right.
She just kind of got hit by all three of those, the perfect storm of situations.
And when they looked at it, as I understand it, Nichelle, Korn Ferry agreed on a number of positions they should be changed, correct?
Correct.
But there was a handful that they did not, that they said, no, it's correct, so.
Yeah.
But you're right, she was kind of caught in several circumstances there, so.
And in my opinion, from what I've heard, she continued to execute her duty well for 18 months with the idea that patiently waiting for this to work itself
There's
out.
nothing in the record that I'm aware of, and correct me if I'm wrong, Michelle, that says in any way did she not perform her duty satisfactorily.
As far as I know.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, so that, to me, that speaks of loyalty to the
Yes.
plant board and to us.
So with that, we can, if anybody else has anything else, or if anyone wants to make a motion.
Is everybody ready, or does anybody want more time? Do you want more time to
No.
look at it?
I don't know if I can learn any more than I know. I just don't.
Well, I'll make a motion to uphold the general manager's decision.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, so we have a motion and second to uphold the decision made by the general manager regarding this salary adjustment. Any discussion on that motion?
Can I ask just one question?
Sure.
Hans, pay real close attention, please. Given that we understand this confluence of these events that specifically have impacted her and maybe one other person in this specific way, and we do understand that she continued to work 18 months with this idea that this potential $9,000 compensation was out there, is there an ability to do a one-time, I'm not even saying a partial sort of recognition of her kind of weaving her way through that 18 months and working? I really don't know anything about this stuff, so I'm looking to you guys. I'm just, is there a way to sort of meet in the middle on this, a one-time way? John, you're.
I just think that you start to, and I think, like I said, this was a very bad situation. Confluence of events came about, and we invested a lot of money in Korn Ferry to identify what jobs we had and what those jobs were worth. We went back to Korn Ferry on this particular job, and they did make a move on this job from an administrative to a field. And unfortunately, she's a tenured enough employee that she's gotten enough raises throughout the time that she did not, that did not benefit her in terms of a raise. I'm afraid if we start making any of these nods, I think it opens the woodwork for us to have one of these hearings at every board meeting. And I think we need to trust our personnel folks and Korn Ferry to work together to figure out, what the salary structure should be. And I know we said it, but I think we need to kind of set it and let it go, because I don't think we need to be the referee for all of these. That's just my thought. And you're wanting to do this is an admirable thing, and I have feelings of the same way, but I think it causes more problems in the long run than it solves.
And I've never really, I defer to your guys' experience on this. I just want to make sure I understand the full.
Oh, no, but I understand where you're coming from as well. I understand where you're coming from as well, so.
We have a motion and a second. Any further questions or discussion? If not, all those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
No, and I think the board has missed the point and the time with this, but my response is no.
And I'm no, just because it doesn't, but I support the board's opinion on this.
Okay. Michelle, thank you.
She's still up for the next one.
Yes, 6.2? Okay, 6.2 is consider amendments to the compensation plan, trouble call pay policy. Michelle.
Staff recommends that the board consider amending section X compensation subsection F of our handbook, trouble call pay, to adjust on-call compensation for the electric system technicians. Staff proposes reducing the current on-call compensation from 21 hours per week as outlined in the policy number 1 to 10 hours per week currently to match the on-call compensation provided for non-exempt electric supervisors. When the AMI infrastructure was initially implemented, it was anticipated that certain features would require immediate in-person responses. However, upon further evaluation, staff has determined that many of those features no longer require urgent in-person response outside of regular working hours. As a result, the after-hour responsibilities for the system techs have decreased. This change will result in a cost saving estimated at about $6,000 a year, as the system techs will receive compensation for only 10 hours per week rather than 21. Any questions?
And that's 6,000 total for all positions, is that correct?
16,000 for 7 system techs that are currently.
16,000
Yes.
for 7.
There are 7 system techs that are
Right.
currently
And the
going out.
cumulative value is $16,000.
I'm sorry, yes.
That's the total value of all 7?
Yes.
Okay. And then F, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is the detail, right? On
Yes,
the-
that's the actual policy.
Right.
Now, that's the current policy.
Does anybody have any questions of Michelle on this? Okay,
Make a motion to approve change.
we have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Policy is adopted.
Okay, thank you.
Change bylaw number 6.3, Harvey. Consider change in bylaws of Cable Advisory Committee. We've talked about this previously, and I know we've got some members who are willing to continue to serve, and you all have gone out and tried to recruit people to replace them.
Yes, sir.
And we've not been successful, and we've got current people who are willing to continue to serve if we make this change. Is that correct?
As I understand it, I haven't asked for any formal, indications from the former or current members whose terms are expiring, but I think they would likely be interested in continuing to serve. So we'll continue to. We have one open. We've had an opening for several months.
And how many total were on the Cable Advisory?
There are 5 members. We've had one open since I think March or April, and then a second one whose term is expiring at the end of October, who is term limited. So, so we're just we're interested in being able to advertise for those openings while also allowing those folks who are former members to apply for this for being reappointed to those positions.
And what do people who serve on the Cable Advisory Committee, what do they get? Nothing.
Nothing.
It's a
Absolutely
volunteer
nothing.
position. If they need to be cable subscribers to
Right.
be eligible, and then we provide the additional packages, tiers of service at a complimentary basis.
Right.
Yep. So we're proposing this one change to the bylaws to allow for that.
Any questions of Harvey?
I have one. The language you have changed, I'd like to make a revision in this. Basically the same statement, but members who have met their 2 consecutive terms could be reappointed if there aren't any new applicants in the pool. Because if you don't, somebody can just be on there forever because they are.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, certainly, whatever language you guys are comfortable with, I'm happy. And that was what we were trying to accomplish,
Yeah.
right? Is basically say it's open, and but yeah, if we want to expressly state that if there are no other applicants, then
So if we said that, if we put a comma after a committee and just said, if no other qualified applicants are interested, are available, or would that do it?
If there are no other
Qualified applicants.
new
here.
qualified applicants, are eligible applicants, I guess. I don't know.
You want to change, if no other eligible applicants are available, are interested?
Well, you could just leave it at eligible applicants, period.
No other eligible, that's even better. We're doing like the old days, we're just doing pen and ink changes to vote on stuff. This is great, this is how laws used to get written. Is everybody okay with that change? So do we have a motion to adopt that policy with, as amended?
So moved.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion, second. All those who agree, vote aye.
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 Those opposed? We're adopted.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. 6.4, Harvey, consider approving Sony Movie Channel.
Staff recommends approval of the proposed amendment to the Sony Movie Channel agreement through the NCTC. This extends our current agreement through September 30th of 2029, ensuring continued carriage of Sony Movie Channel on our optional HD Plus tier. It maintains our existing rate structure with future increases tied to the Consumer Price Index and capped at 5% annually. No additional carriage requirements, and this agreement's been reviewed by the staff attorney. Happy to answer any questions you guys have on this item.
Anybody have any questions for Harvey? If not, do we have a motion?
So moved.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion's adopted. Item 6.5, consider approving Game Show Network renewal. Harvey.
Staff recommends approval of the renewal agreement for the Game Show Network, also through the NCTC, and also with a term through September 30th of 2029. GSN is on preferred cable, offers a mix of classic and original game show programming. The annual rate increases on this renewal are below budgeted projections, and this also includes no additional carriage requirements or obligations. And staff attorneys reviewed it and meets with his approval. Happy to answer any questions on this item.
Any questions? Not, do we have a motion?
So moved.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion's adopted. I just want to let you know, Harvey.
Yes, sir.
Sunday night at 10, Ed Sullivan's off. Another episode of Carol Burnett, so life's tough on Sunday at the old household, yeah. Don't say anything, John. Just don't say. Number 6.6, consider approving an agreement with Arts Electrical Solutions for $38,200 to provide electrical services for the Leestown Road Pump Station. And I think everybody's got a handout here.
That is gonna be for one of my follow-up items.
Okay.
That should be in the.
Oh, this is the
book
crane,
package.
yes.
Yeah, crane
Yeah.
is different, yeah.
Okay, sure
All right.
missed it.
Yeah, this is a standard agreement with an electrical contractor. The Midway pump station will come fully assembled and wired in the interior of the building. So this is basically just to do the exterior work, bring from the new KU riser pole that they just installed for this pump station. We'll have a generator as well, so they'll just provide the electrical services to run service from KU to the new pump station.
Okay. Do we have any questions for Sharmista? Okay, if not, do we have a motion?
So moved.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Contract's approved.
Right.
Item 6.7, consider approving a professional services agreement with Kentucky Engineering Group in the amount of $295,000 for engineering services for the tube settler replacement project at the water treatment plant. Brandon.
Yes. The tube settlers at the water treatment plant are used to facilitate settling of particles before filtration. They have started to deteriorate and are due for replacement. Kentucky Engineering Group will assist with product selection and will provide full engineering services throughout the project duration. The scope and agreement are included in the board package for your review. The fiscal year 26 budget includes $1.294 million for engineering and purchase of the materials. Construction is expected to begin in fiscal year 27, and the fiscal year 27 budget includes funds for completion of the project. Staff recommends the board approve the agreement with Kentucky Engineering Group contingent upon receipt of insurance requirements. The attached agreement has been reviewed and approved by the staff attorney.
John, question. Brandon, you said 1.294 million in this year's budget, and then it's going to go on to the next year's. Was this in line about what we thought we'd pay for engineering of the 1.29 million?
Yeah. We just split the project over 2 years. It was a big budget number. It's $2.5–3 million.
Okay.
We still don't know what the end number is going to be once we decide which product we want to go with. But,
Okay.
And technically, we haven't adopted the fiscal 27 budget, but this is, we need to know that when we're voting for this, this item is going to be front and center next June.
It was in the 5 years.
It's in the 5 year.
Yeah,
Yes, that's
5
it.
years. So will this all be paid out in 26, or will some of this float over to 27? Do you think?
Well, the engineering
engineering
would be $295.
Right.
So some of the rough numbers that we've gotten are 800,000 to $1 million for the product. So it should be close.
Close. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good. Thank you.
When were the last time the tube settlers were replaced?
2007.
So is this about when we expected?
Actually, they say about 15 years. So we're overdue.
We're on a little borrowed time.
Yeah, I mean they're not in bad shape, but they do need to be replaced. Yeah.
Okay.
They're plastic, and we spray them with fire hoses lightly, and the sun, the sun makes them brittle. So it's just a part of it. So.
Yeah. Any other questions for Brandon? If not, do we have a motion?
So moved.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Contracts approved. Thank you, sir. Number 6.8, consider approving an agreement with Tri-State Rigging for $28,150 to provide crane services for the Leestown Road Pump Station. Now I've got the right document.
Yes. So the contractor had requested a slight revision to the contract language. It was very minor. Hans reviewed it and he accepted it. Excuse me. So this is basically the pump station manufacturer, they're responsible for delivering it to the site. But once we get it to the site, then someone has to take ownership of lifting it off their flatbed onto the site. We don't have any equipment that can lift this weight of about 35,000 pounds. So we did reach out to several crane companies. However, there's not very many that actually will anchor it down to the concrete pad as well. So this company will do both. They'll lift it, set it, and then line it up with the holes, drill the anchor bolts in, and get it attached to the concrete pad.
Any questions? If not, do we have a motion?
So moved.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion, do we have a second? Yeah,
Yes.
we have a motion and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Contracts approved. Next item, 6.9, consider approving an agreement with HMB Professional Engineers for a not to exceed of $7,000 for concrete pad design services for the Leestown Road Pump Station.
So when we were applying for the building permit from Woodford County, they had requested some additional work, some geotechnical services, because it is considered an essential structure. So in that, going along with that, once they did the geotech services, there's particular, like, whatever the capacity of the soil is, we wanted to go ahead and have a professional engineer, structural engineer, design those concrete pads due to the weight of the pump station, and in addition, the generator as well. So that's going to be several thousand pounds as well. So they have almost finalized it. They sent us a draft of their slab design today, so they're going to finalize that. And once we get that, we'll provide it to the concrete contractor, and we'll get the slabs poured.
Okay. And then once that happens, and you get the pad, and then we bring that in, the 35,000 pounds, and we set it and we bolt it, how close are we to being online?
Once it's received, the electrical contractor said it would probably take about 15 business days to perform their work.
Mm-hmm.
And then once they're done, it's turning it on, and I'm sure there's something's going to happen. So
Right.
we'll have to work through the bugs. And I did receive an email right before the board meeting about delivery, so I'm trying to work out those details. It was supposed to, we want to try to be online by the middle of November, so I need to get that delivery squared away. I'm going to follow up with them tomorrow. So.
Any questions for Sharmista? If not, do we have a motion?
So moved.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Contracts approved.
Thank you.
Item 6.10, consider staff designation of applicant agent for disaster funding. Travis.
Good evening again. So yeah, for better or worse, we've had several recent FEMA claims over the past few years. Of course, good that we're getting reimbursed, but not so good that we had the storms in the first place. So as a matter of fact, we've got one that's ongoing right now. Many of you remember the April flood event. We had quite a bit of damage, kind of across all lines of service, and we're working through that claim now. We're asking the board to authorize Amy Kurtzinger, who's an executive assistant here with us, to act as the board's applicant agent on these FEMA claims. My understanding is the state emergency management reached out and said, hey, you kind of need to update this form. They act as a liaison on these federal claims. So they wanted us to get an updated applicant agent. Amy has led all of these FEMA projects for us. She's done several here and at a previous employer, so she does a great job with it. And by approving her to act on the board's behalf, I think it just kind of expedites the paperwork process.
Any questions for Travis? Okay, if not, do we have a motion?
So moved.
We have a motion and a second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Designation's approved.
Thank you.
Item 6.13, 6.12. Everybody should have in front of them a draft of the power supply RFP and 6. Okay, I'm sorry. Leanne, 6.11, consider award of bid number 1829 for snow and ice removal services to Holt's Landscape Group. And my understanding is this is a what if. We only we'll spend money as if we have to use them, correct?
Yes, we explain in the bid document that our estimates may fall short of or exceed
Mhm.
our estimates. So staff recommends awarding the snow and ice removal contract to Holt's Landscape Group as they are the lowest responsive bid. The apparent low bidder did not bid all categories. They omitted pricing for larger snow events. While winter weather events of this magnitude are rare, we can incur unexpected expenses by not having contract pricing. So references for Holtz have been checked and are favorable.
Any questions for Leanne? If not, do we have a motion?
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and second. All those in favor of awarding to Holtz, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Contract's approved.
All right, thank you.
Now, item 6.12. You should have in front of you the draft RFP. We've talked about this the last several meetings. When the agenda came out last Friday, this was also put on our website. And what we'll be doing tonight, Travis and Gary can discuss any parts of it you want. It's basically what we've seen before. What this does is start the process. It will go out to as many people as we can find to send it to, and as broad a group. And then when we get the responses back, then we'll kind of start sorting it out and seeing where we are. And I think the important thing is it starts the process for us and lets the community know we're looking. But this in no way is awarding a contract to anybody or making any decisions on energy mix or power supply. But we've got to start, we've got to come online by 2029. This basically starts the process. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yes, sir. I can do a brief recap if you like. I mean, there's nothing really substantially changed from what, GDS covered at the last meeting.
Right.
As far as, the framework of the RFP, at the last meeting, the board authorized us to engage in the competitive negotiation process for this bid. So that'll help us kind of, narrow down the responses when that time comes. Again, that's not what we're doing here today.
Right.
With approval this evening, we've targeted around October 13th to send the bids out. They will be out for several months, probably until, just after the first of the year, give the vendors plenty of time to respond and put forth good proposals. So that's kind of the gist of it. If authorized, we'll kind of clean everything up with GDS, and they've of course got a wide network, as you mentioned, of suppliers they work with. We'll cast a wide net.
And then when it's issued, it'll be on our website. So anybody, not just potential bidders, but anybody in the community or anywhere else can take a look at the final one. But this is out there right now, but the final one would be out there for anybody to see, and so they've got that information.
Correct, and I'm not aware of any changes that are, unless the board directs us to change anything. There's nothing, there was a little cleanup on some of the attachments, some data cleanup stuff that may, be changed, but other than that, what's out there now is what we're presuming we're gonna go forth with.
Is it okay with everybody to go on and send it out?
You need a motion?
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the power supply RFP and direct them to send it out next month.
Okay. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Send it out, Travis.
Okay, will do. Appreciate it.
General Manager comments?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I do have one report to the board and the community. We had one position in the past for the assistant GM job, and in the budget process, we did ask the board to approve additional one. But historically, we had a three, in the time in a few years ago. This is really hopefully can help me to manage more the operation area. Job has been open in early July, and we had a total 21 applicants, 17 from outside, 3 internal applicants. So we went through the interview process, selection process, which is we interviewed 4 of them. And all of them, I want you to know, done very good job for interview. I truly appreciate all the people put effort through their name into it. Shows how much the commitment for this company, or potentially from outside interest in our job. So I do want you to know that after all this process, I did make my decision to choose the best among all. In this circumstance, I'm not saying others is definitely less qualified, less quality. I'm just saying is because what we needed, they probably two the most fit in. For one is Travis and Sir Mesa, which is both work for us decades for us, 16, 18 years, and manage the engineering, operation, construction for a while. They really proved themselves. They been get along with our other employee. It shows a lot of good potential for us. So that's I want you, hopefully we all together support them to make our organization even more successful down the road. Do you have?
You've moved some. You've reorganized some of the departments under them and so forth.
I
correct?
do because it's more assignment. I do share the new org chart with you. Basically, we're going to share more responsibility since we have more people can help me directly. But I'm glad I did it. I mean, I'm glad all they put in. It shows more commitment for this organization from them. Any common question, I definitely happy to
You picked two highly qualified people, and they've proven themselves every month here of the kind of job they do. So I think you made two good picks.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. Congrats.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
And one other item, and the general manager, Gary, we've got the report Travis did. Last month we had Miss Barr come on the lights. And you've got a report in front of you that Travis put together, which is basically inventory of what we have. And there's really nothing for us to do with it. I think if the board agrees, we promised Ms. Barr that Travis would do this. If the board agrees to send this to her and also forward a copy to the city and county, and really the ball's in their court. If they want to change the lights, if they want to go to a different wattage, they can do it. There is a cost of labor and the bulbs. Normal, as I understand it, Travis, normal life expectancy is about 7 years or so.
On the older type, yes. Of course, longer on LED, but yeah.
So if they wanted to make the switch and just let attrition take care of it, it would take about 7 years. If not, it's what, $750 counting labor and a bulb?
Yeah, ballpark. Yeah, roughly to do an LED new fixture, long life photocell labor about $700-ish bucks.
And I think you said cost saving wise, it will save, but the recap's about 10 years.
Yeah, we looked at it in a little more detail in 2017, and that was about what we came up with, that 11-ish year range. And at that time, we had some kind of gas guzzlers of the lighting deployment. They were 400 watt versus most of the older type fixtures were 250s. We took care of all the 400s, so we got kind of the low-hanging fruit then. For the rest of it, it's just to do these mass replacements, it's kind of an uphill battle on getting anything better in 10 years.
But one of the things she did mention was that some of the lights, like the decorative lights downtown and stuff, those aren't our lights. Those aren't included in this, are they? Or, I mean, those were purchased by the city, or we put those up the direction of the city. Are they included in here as well, or not?
Yeah, it's kind of a mixed bag. Some of those decorative lights we do maintain.
Okay.
Some of them have already been converted to LEDs. Either the fixture or there's an LED bulb that you've probably seen just kind of screws in like one you would see in your house. So yeah, on the decorative out there, they're kind of a mixed bag. Some neighborhoods have their own lights and the neighborhood pays for them. The bulk of them are going to be your standard roadway light. Okay. And my understanding, please correct me if I'm wrong, I think we were considering more than likely a change on the standard going forward.
Right.
I didn't understand the ask to go out and change everything right now.
Okay. Yeah.
But I would also like to know, so when we started to convert to LEDs, we did kind of like a demo project. There were a few different brands we tried out downtown just to kind of get any feedback. That's maybe something we could propose as well as, if the city or county or whoever wanted to make a change that, we could try a few vendors with this. One of the things, there's a couple of changes that they would recommend, but for the most part, it's a more yellow light. When we started, Those were not as common. Most of the manufacturers have caught up to this issue, and there are more options out there now. So that's, again, just something we could propose if we wanted to try that, is doing, you know.
So, I mean, Ms. Barr did a nice presentation, and we promised her we'd do this, and I mean, it's really up to the city and county if they want to give us direction to purchase and have smaller wattage, or do a group several years, a larger amount, in several successive years. I mean, it's really kind of their call at this point.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I kind of, see our role as service provider.
Yeah.
Their lights, they pay for the energy usage. They kind of tell us where to go.
Yeah. But you did a great job on this in a short time. So
Okay.
if that's okay with her, I don't think.
Yeah.
But Jason, Catherine.
Yes, thank you for this, because I think it will be very helpful for the city and county to have. One of the slides she showed as examples around town was our building. Is there maybe homework for next time, is whether there's anything we can do about our lighting, if it's shields so it's not going up, if it's I don't know, less,
sure.
but I hated that we were one example, unless we're just trying to show, look, we've got electricity here.
Yeah, we have
I don't
electricity.
know. But maybe if somebody can think about that a little bit and let us know.
Absolutely, yes.
And then I would say that if the city and county wants to move forward, I like your idea of kind of switching them out as become inoperable, but of course we'd want to think in visual corridors too, because we wouldn't want to switch one out and then it would look weird, just like you do in your house. You switch out the wrong light bulb and suddenly your eyes are like so I'd say we want to definitely recommend the aesthetics of it, the city and county. So.
And my understanding is the city is embarking on a study on energy, right? Energy usage?
The city?
Aren't they?
They're internal to the buildings, it looks like.
Yeah.
But
I mean, this is something they could include in their process if they want to go down this route.
Yeah.
So, if that's okay with everybody, we'll forward this on to the three parties.
All right, thank you, Travis.
If you would, Kathy, and thank Ms. Barr again for coming.
I think the record can show we don't need a closed session.
So we don't need number 9, 10, or 11?
Wow, that's right.
That's a first.
Which takes us to action to item number 12.
That would be adjournment.
Yes.
Chairman.
Do we have a motion for adjournment?
I would make a motion to adjourn.
Anybody want to second that? Or you want to stay and just make
It's
up
not
something
even
to talk
dark
about?
outside yet. I mean, what are we thinking?
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? We're adjourned. Thank you all.
you.